She was the last queen of ancient Egypt, the lover of Julius Caesar and Mark Antony. This is the story of Queen Cleopatra. If you're a fan of history, then don't forget to hit the follow and let me know in the comments what sort of content you want to see. Ptolemy XII died in early 51 BC, leaving two of his children, Cleopatra VII and Ptolemy XIII, as his joint heirs. Cleopatra's first recorded act as Queen of Egypt took place on the 22nd of March, 51 BC, when she went to her Monthis to install a new sacred butcher's ball. The early years of Cleopatra's reign would be plagued by many difficulties. Early issues which Cleopatra faced included a famine caused by drought and low-level flooding of the Nile, the lawless behaviour of the Gabiniani, and the 17.5 million drachma debt that her father owed to the Roman Republic. Cleopatra clearly had a lot to deal with in her early years as queen, and we haven't even begun to discuss the civil war that would eventually break out between Cleopatra and her brother Ptolemy XIII. Though Ptolemy XII had designated Cleopatra and her brother Ptolemy XIII as co-rulers of ancient Egypt after his death, by August of 51 BC, Cleopatra was listed in the documents as sole ruler of Egypt. To say that Cleopatra and Ptolemy XIII did not get on is an understatement. The couple weren't just brother and sister, they were also husband and wife. As a dynasty of Greek Macedonian origin, who established themselves as the legitimate ruling dynasty of ancient Egypt and the rightful heirs of Alexander the Great, Ptolemaic dynasty embraced long-held royal Egyptian practice of sibling marriage, starting with Ptolemy II and his sister Arsinoe II. And much like the Habsburgs, they did take it a step further, with uncles marrying nieces. The philosophy behind this practice was to keep the power in the family, although ironically by keeping it in the family they were only doing themselves a disservice. One only has to look at the remains of Tutankhamun or Charles II of Spain to see what happens after generations of inbreeding. Ptolemy XIII and his allies, most notably his tutor Pothinus, began to fight back against Cleopatra's attempt to solely rule Egypt. By the summer of 49 BC, in the city of Alexandria, a full-blown civil war had broken out between the two siblings, with Cleopatra eventually being forced to flee from the city with her younger sister Arsinoe. Whilst all of this infighting had broken out in Egypt, similarly the Roman Republic had descended into civil war. In 49 BC, Gnaeus Pompeius Magnus, better known as Pompey the Great, called in his debts with the Ptolemies. In response for his cry to help, Pompey received 60 ships and 500 troops from Cleopatra and Ptolemy XIII. On the 9th of August 48 BC, Pompey was defeated at the decisive Battle of Pharsalus by none other than Julius Caesar. Fleeing from the battlefield, Pompey headed to Egypt to regroup and launch a new attack against Caesar. However, Pompey was quite literally stabbed in the back by his Egyptian allies. Pompey was murdered on the orders of Ptolemy XIII. His head was cut off and sent to Caesar as a gift. Caesar was not impressed, come back for part